There we go.
Hey, folks,
Hey,
welcome back
folks.
to the Trailer Park Show. How's everybody going? Or everybody
Boy,
doing?
y'all look kind of black back there, don't you?
Ah,
Is that too much? Okay.
party foul. That's just wrong. Ah.
Well, look at it. The light's not right or something.
Well, it's nighttime and,
Yeah, there you go. He got his ring on.
goodness. Hey, folks,
You
so
just
welcome.
can't take me anywhere, can you?
Exactly. Well, welcome to the Trailer Park, folks. We got the host, Supreme. We got James Ritter. We got Michael Cargill from Central Texas.
No
Landmarks.
Camino again.
No Gomino, and we have our special guest, and we'll let James do the
Isaac Rowe, the man in me.
Thank you for being. I'm glad to be here.
We're going to hear all about you here because we'll start with, like I said, let's hear who you are, your education, your background, and then tell us something about Man in Me and how you decided to do this.
Okay. Isaac Rowe. My name is Isaac Rowe. I started an organization called The Man in Me, and The Man in Me basically
Oh, there it
focuses
is up there now. Not to cut you off like that. But
It's all right. Yeah, that's good. The Man in Me, and I have a degree in architectural drafting design, civil engineering, and I work at a Dashiell Corporation engineering firm. I'm an electrical designer for an engineering firm in Austin. And how Man in Me all came about was that I found out as a single, like my mom is a single mother raising 3 boys, and I'm the oldest, and I realized how it was for me not having my father there in my life as much as I wanted him to be. And I wanted other men to see that, hey, you know, your child, your son, your daughter is valuable, that they are valuable, and you need to go back and go into that home and raise that family. This is your family, this is your seed. And I was like, hey, I got to do something about it. I was like, well, I'm no father. I'm nothing. What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to help people and help men, you know, looking at my age and you look at a bunch of stuff like that. And I'm like, well, how am I supposed to do that? And he's like, if you want to make the change, if you see this as something that, and you're passionate about it, won't you be the change? You know, won't you make that change and help out in that way? And I just started it, and it just all came about.
is there a group of y'all or?
Yeah, as a group, as a team, we have a team. We have a men and a women's, a woman and me. And we meet once a month on the third Friday of every month at 7:30. Usually meet at Kleberg Hall. That's off of Ardenwood Street, right off of 35 and Airport. Oh, okay. So right there by the Hancock Center. And we just talk about real issues. Our Men Talk workshops, we talk about real issues that men face on a day-to-day basis. Everything that you can think about. It's open talk. There's no judgment. Race, religious views, whatever, it doesn't matter. We're all here. We're all men. And that's we all come to the table is that we're all men. And we all got something. We all got hidden things. We got things that we need to address. And we all want to be great men. We all want to be great men.
I like it. I too come from, my parents divorced, I was real young.
His mom raised 3 boys by herself.
Well, I don't know if you, well,
Back in the
anyway,
day when
I
it was
learned
unheard
it.
of.
About 12 years old, I figured it out. I told my sons that, you know, I may not know how, but I don't never lie, cheat, or steal. Makes it pretty simple. That is a good idea. I know, and in today's world, there's probably a lot of need for some of your stories
A
you're
lot of
sharing.
lost youth.
A lot of lost youth. I know it was tough putting up with no dad around and out in the street all the time, and such a wonder I didn't get all. I think the Navy would save me. They'd put my ass to work. And after that, I'll stay at work. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Mike. I know you got something to say too.
Oh, no, I'm good.
You
I'm
know,
going to chime in here in a few minutes, though.
Well, we met at an event, and we actually
Chicon Pregnancy Research Center banquet. It was
Yes.
delicious food. It was
Delicious
great
food.
people.
and
Good.
It's a great
people.
cause.
And it was kind of one of those funny situations, just so that everybody knows how this came out, where you were able to, where we met. We were at this event, and oddly enough, we were at a table that was mislabeled. There was 40 tables in this room, and we were labeled number 41. And everybody's like, they're like, oh yeah, they kept us sending us to a different direction, and it
Yeah,
didn't quite
yeah.
work out that way. But they were able to sit us to where we needed to be, and by chance, you guys were also sitting there, and we were probably the only 4 people. It was James and myself, and then yourself and Mrs. Rowe that were there at the table, and we had we got to talk a little bit, and that was basically kind of like a moment of fate, if you will. As I tell people before, I've
Off in
learned.
the corner by ourselves.
Yeah, we're just
Double
sitting-
helping of a cream cheese topped cream pumpkin pie.
Yes, delicious stuff.
See the part I remember. Huh?
And I wasn't,
We know the
wasn't
part.
invited to this thing. What's going on here?
I'm sorry about that.
But it was a great time where, I've come to the conclusion that in a lot of times in life, you meet individuals for a reason.
Yeah.
And we had the great pleasure of meeting you and the missus, talking about what you're doing with the man and me, which is phenomenal stuff, because in this day and age, I mean, granted, we can go by the numbers. You have 50% of people getting divorced. Of course, it doesn't tell you of those 50% that are getting divorced how many have kids and whatnot. But you have a lot of kids out there that the parents say they're absent, non-existent, or whatever. And you have individuals out there from and I kind of use a little bit of my personal standpoint or personal situation in my life, where you have to make a decision whether or not you want to be still part of the child's life. And if you do, how much of an influence you want to be able to have in their upbringing. And in many cases now, you have individuals out there that don't want to be in there because they're upset with the
Cake
ex-wife,
with the
with
baby's mama, or-
with the baby mama, whatever you want to do, and then or whatever you want to call them, and then they end up getting bashed, not only by the parents, which in many cases it shouldn't be done. But you also have family members who say things negative about them and everything else, and it gets really hard. And I'm curious about how. I'd imagine that a lot of people that you meet in the group have had similar situations where they're just they leave and then they're just being told everything left and right about them, or everything negative is being said about them, and then when they come back to trying to take part in the child's life, that they end up being it makes it an uphill battle.
Yeah.
So what is, I guess, in the discussions? I mean, you guys have monthly meetings or have meetings. How is that said a lot, or do people talk about how they're able to get out of that one barrier? Because I'd imagine that's probably the biggest barrier, other than a court-appointed mandate saying you can't see your child.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'd imagine that's probably the second hardest thing to deal with when you have to deal with the negativity that surrounds you because of everything that's said, whether it's true or not.
Yeah.
What do you have people talk about that in the groups, or
There are some. Usually, I be with one-on-one. Usually, and then we haven't talked about it necessarily in the men talk. But as far as men who have these challenges, is usually with the mother, and they're trying to get back in there and trying to do this. They want to do the right thing. They want to be, pay their child support, and that's usually the first thing.
Yeah. Oh my God.
How much are you gonna give me? This is what I need, to take care of this child. And usually you can kind of get in through that window right there, But as far as spending time with them, and it's a slow process, and you just got to keep plugging if you really want to be in there. You got to keep plugging and keep plugging. You can't just stop and just like, well, I'm done. I tried. No, this is your child.
Right.
Like I know you made mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, but just go in there and get in there and find a way. Find a way to get in there. Find a way to be like, hey, I want to be with my child. Give me an hour. Give me something. Let me talk to him on the phone. Whatever it is, just let me have contact.
Right.
If it's on the phone, whatever. So.
True.
Do you demand that kind of thing in exchange for child support? Would that be a thing? My problem with child support is how many women I've seen out there at the bar. I just got my child support check. I think, what I tell you, Ma? If we ever get divorced, I ain't about to buy you and your next boyfriend no damn drinks. I'm going to jail.
Yeah, I get that too.
Yeah,
I get that. Yeah.
How can you overcome that?
There's nothing you can do.
You can't demand, I'll give you $150. I want $150 worth of receipts for kids' clothes, groceries.
You can't do that. There's nothing that can be done on that.
You
part.
just give it to her and she's gone. She's out the bar. The kid's out there hungry.
I will attest to that as being a single father who is receiving child support from his ex-wife. There's nothing that she can say, and I believe for the fact of that matter is that
You gonna buy me a drink?
I did that the other day. Okay, so we're good.
You got the money. You got the money.
I got the money. In fact, next week I get paid, so we're okay.
Oh,
So we can go
okay.
out and- But if memory serves me correctly on the way the state law works, is that paying child support is not the reason to go ahead and see your child. You still have a legal right to see your child, but granted the custodial parent, and I'm going to say the custodial parent because I'm one.
Yeah.
Some of them will hold that over their head, saying, "Well, if you don't give me any money, you can't see my kid," which in many cases, I don't want to say in many cases, it's just downright wrong.
Yeah, it is wrong.
Granted, yes, you have parents that don't pay, and you have, my
That's
ex-wife.
true.
My ex-wife didn't pay for 5-6 years. So be it. Whatever happens after my daughter turns 18 and what she wants to do afterwards to go ahead and try to reclaim that, I'll let her do whatever she wants to do. But the reality of the situation is that, I could have held that over her head, but I chose not to. And granted, the other people, for legal reasons, I don't want to have that option. But but you're right. There's a lot of people out there that will hold that as a barrier, saying, "Well, guess what? You can't pay me. You can't see my kid." And what do the parents do? What do the non-custodial parents do? And I'm
Guys
saying,
get all upset like you were saying out there.
have they gone to, because I'd imagine you probably get it on both sexes, where you both have both men and women come in and say, "Hey, by the way, I can't see my kid," or whatever. What are they doing to try to be able to kind of push that aside, that monetary issue aside, so that they can see their kids? Are they looking at going to courts? Are they looking at being able to have a third party come in and kind of negotiate something?
Mitigate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that usually works out if you have somebody that's there that's very respectful, as far as both parties. And I know in my life where I had full custody of my niece, and my brother and his girlfriend at the time weren't able to take care of the child, and so Child Protective Services had to step in and be able to handle that issue. And now we got this situation where my brother pays the child support, but she doesn't want him to see the child because now she has a new, boyfriend, and so she wants him to be daddy.
Oh.
And she calls them, "This is your daddy. This is your daddy," because she
And
wants.
still
that.
wants it on the pay?
Yeah.
Well,
That's what you're talking about that can come up?
Yeah,
I wouldn't be
it's
going
like
over.
she wants that family. She wants that family, but she also wants the money, and so she just can do whatever she wants because is the guardian. She's the primary.
And there's nothing legally you can do about that, huh?
And you can actually go in there and you can fight. But it's gonna cost.
Yeah.
You can definitely get a lawyer and you can fight where we're getting.
The lawyer
we're getting
wins,
joint.
everyone else loses.
You
So
have to
basically-
prove yourself.
Right.
You have to prove yourself. What have you been doing? Keeping all your receipts, making sure, all your child support is up to date. You have to be the perfect, gentleman. What are you living at? What is your occupation? All these things come into play.
Now I'm trying to understand the organization a little bit. So, Man and Me, is this kind of like what is it?
Mentoring or?
Yeah, you're mentoring. You have people come in and speak, and then who are some of your speakers?
I am one of the speaker, and also O'Brien Wilkerson. He's one of our official speakers as well.
So once a month, you guys will talk. How do you pick your topics and stuff like that?
We usually come up with them based on, we have surveys and how I tend to talk to some of the men. We have a relationship. So, hey, what's going on? What are you struggling with? And when I see some of the men struggling with certain type of things, we kind of bring it up and kind of go with something. Usually everybody's overcoming some struggle
Now,
of some sort.
are these kids or these are men?
Adult.
So
So
these
we're
are
looking
adults.
at the youth. We got since about 10 to about 60, 67. That's the
Years
range.
old.
Yeah, that's the
10
range.
years old to 67 years old. Okay, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. And so is this like a big, well, it's not really a big brother, big sister kind of program, not like that, because with the age range there, you guys try to take field trips, or is it just you meet at that one place and then like a workshop, trying to build on things?
Yeah,
from
trying
there?
to build ourselves. We want to develop some tools and adapt some tools so we can live by. And we basically we have our group 7:30. We come in, we have our chairs, we set up our chairs, and everybody comes in. We got food there, and we just hang out for a little bit.
I ain't saying it.
Just-
Good, thank you. Now he's going to bring up something about the food.
so,
Free
you-
food?
Yeah, free food.
I
We got
didn't
free
say-
food. Free food.
So you guys
We all
socialize that in the beginning.
socialize in the beginning, and then
then-
we'll just kind of just bring out a little topic and say, hey, what's going on, and we're just kind of throw something out there. Anybody want to talk about how your day or what's going on, or what struggle you have, or something good? Not
Okay.
necessarily have to be what's going on. We talk about sports. We can talk about anything. What's going on. We can talk. We're all men. We can talk about women. That's usually sex is a big topic. Sex, women, relationships.
Yeah, like I brought up about giving that woman child support money she got by her. I know that's something that's got to piss people off. Fortunately, for whatever reason, I never got to find out. Thank God.
That means they probably talk about contraception then.
I don't know. That was already got the one case she brought up was she got a new man to be daddy to the kids, but still wants the old daddy to pay for it. And unless the new daddy illegally adopts them, I understand that much.
Yeah.
If he legally adopts them, then he's free and clear.
Now, how long does the meeting go?
For about an hour and a half.
Okay.
It's about we usually wrap it up around 9. So after 9, everybody kind of hangs out and just kind of chills, and then we kind of talk about certain things, or we connect, network with one another.
How do people find out about the organization? Like, how do they find you? They just something happens in their life, it's court ordered, or how do you come in contact with you?
Usually it's word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Right now, I know we have our website up, and usually word of mouth. We do send out flyers and emails, and people who just hear from the other man, hey man, you come check out this group. I don't know really what it's about, but I heard about it, and they just come and they just show up, and they get some good stuff.
So about how many people do you have coming in per month?
On average, I say about 12 to 15,
Which is good.
but 12.
And are they recurring people that come in monthly? or-
Some different. Some it could be completely different sometimes. Usually we got about at least 6 to 8 about that they're regulars that come recurring, always come. And then sometimes we'll have 1 month we got 30.
Wow.
We have 30, we'll have 40. Sometimes we have 50. It just depends. We also have our men and women chats. It's the male and female conversation. And this is
And I'm sorry about that one.
This is spicy right here. This is some spicy stuff, because we're gonna talk about some good stuff right here when we talk about the women's point of view and the men's point of view. So you really get to see what's going on in the woman's mind, and they also get to see what's going on in the man's mind as well. You get to express that to the women without, getting in trouble. You say, hey,
Well,
just
there,
talking.
anyway. Well, there, anyway.
Yeah, there. I say, hey, we're just talking. We're just talking. So.
That's interesting stuff with word of mouth. Kind of find some, because we had talked earlier about the racial aspect. And I know particularly in the black community, there's so many young men.
Well, it's actually now.
They're all in jail,
It's
or-
actually now in every.
It's all
It
racist.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what color of skin you are. It's everywhere now, and for whatever reason, it's now it's colorblind.
There's a lot of young men out there that are lost,
Yeah.
and they don't seem to have any role model male figure, father figure, whatever you want to call it, in their lives.
Because that was the question that, in fact, that I had asked you personally at that function, and you had even told me that it's not. There's no specific one ethnic background that comes in. It's everybody.
Everybody
all
comes
races.
in, but the only reason I bring that one up is because that community is so in need. And we're all in need of it, but that community in particular has a high percentage of, they talk about the young black men that are in jail.
Yeah.
Well, it's not racial. There's a reason for it. And part of it is these men don't have any role models. They came up with these families with multiple daddies or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
And none of them seem to want to take any responsibility.
Yeah.
So it seems like a group like yours should be sponsored by churches, Lions clubs, or something.
Yeah.
I know that Lions. I think it's the Lions Club over there on 290 near 183
Okay.
East. That's the Lions Club over there, I believe. That place is packed a lot. Been there for city political functions. It seems like there'd be some way we could help get the word out for you.
Yeah, yeah. There, it is a need in the African American community. You got what, 2.3 million that are incarcerated. You know, overall.
Out of
nationwide.
12% of the population, or whatever.
Yeah, and it's like 1 million of them are black. You know, and it's just like, wow, that percentage. You know, and then it's, you know, male population is a lot higher as far as that makes up majority of that. And it's like, hey, it is something that needs to be addressed. It is something, and I know there's a lot of organizations that are working towards it, but it seems like the JPP, I call it the jail prep programs, usually take over that role model as a mentor.
On the street.
Yeah, that you know, gangs. You
And,
know, I want to be. It's a false sense of family. It's a false sense of family. I want to be loved. I'm looking for something. I'm searching for something, but this is the only thing I can get
So
close
anything they can
to
find
it.
out there on the street.
That's it. That's it. That's all I can find.
And they'll give you heck if you start doing good in school.
Yeah.
What was it, a year or two ago? That kid in Chicago got beat to death just because he talked like a white man. He had a backpack full of books. And straight A students. And so they, you know, as gay kids, so that makes it difficult, particularly in that community, I guess. But all of them, like he says.
All groups need help when it comes
Yeah.
to this. So
Yeah.
your organization started in last year, in fact.
Yeah. 2012.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what was the motivation behind it?
I guess in my past, like I kind of said it earlier, in my past I wasn't always a very good person. You know, I was a womanizer, always around the ladies, always got to get the honeys, you know, and I
Nothing wrong with that.
yeah, no, I just saying, you know, but it became where, you know, I was a sex addict. You know, I became obsessed with women and just doing so many different things. And I'm like, look, this is so fun. You know, this is what I like to do.
I'm
we
shutting
get
up,
Well,
Gabriel. I
exactly.
swear.
We get to the good stuff
We
now.
get to the good stuff now, exactly. which is normal for people in their 20s and probably up into their 30s.
If you say, I
Which
guess
it
so.
is, yeah.
But
I mean,
you know,
if
I
you
took it
consider
to,
the society that's time.
yeah, I took it to a whole nother level.
Very nice.
Yeah, I took it to a whole nother level, and I'm not
I'm
not
not sure
proud
we ought to
of
go
it.
there on the family hour here. But
Yeah, but I took it to a whole nother level, and I dated women, and they had children, and I saw that they didn't have their fathers there. I was just like, wow, these are beautiful kids. These are like good kids. They're in school. They're playing sports. They you know, they're very respectful. They have manners. I'm like, man, I would love to have kids like this, you know. And you know, I looked at myself and I saw myself in them. I'm like, man, I wish somebody told me that I was worthy. And you can tell, you can see it in their eyes. You can see it right there that they're missing something. There's a piece missing. And I'm like, I know what it is. You know, when they ask, well, you know, father might call or whatever the case may be out of the once or twice out the year, you know, and, you know, for birthdays or whatever the case may be. And he don't want to talk. He don't want to talk to him. You know, it's like, what?
happy birthday and hang up.
Yeah. You know, there's no money. There's no gift. No,
He's on the streets
nothing.
himself.
you know. So it's just like, okay, what now?
Well, I was gonna go over the how did you overcome, but because we've been talking out in the hallway, out in the lobby about your own personal
Yeah.
like that, and I just dawned on me. You said the women too, the woman in me, and I never thought about those women or those girls are probably heavily affected too with no daddy.
Yeah. And that's that's the woman in me, focused on the recovery process of how men that we have treated.
Even more destructive on women, I guess.
Yeah, I know I've treated women poorly, and I didn't respect them, and this organization right here is focused on developing the true beauty within, and knowing that we got a lot of stereotypes where they're this and they're that, and culture, and different types of culture, hip hop culture and stuff like that, that say that you're this type of person, be this and sexy and whatnot, and
The B word, the WH word, and all that kind of stuff.
all those words, and don't call them that,
They even had that dance I seen on one of them shows my old lady watched, where it's like they're having sex with the clothes on.
Yeah.
And they're dancing.
Yeah.
What do they call that? They had a name for it.
Yes, there is, but we'll
Yeah.
it's a family show, so it's
I get a little well, I did want to go into the overcome bit because I know there's a lot of people out there, or young people particularly, and I guess girls and young ladies too, that they don't see any future, I guess. How did you do it? How did you come out? You come off the streets.
Yeah.
You got your pants pulled up. You ain't got your head on crooked or nothing like that.
So, like, what motivated you to do what you're doing?
Growing up, I wanted to be something. I wanted to be not that. That's all I saw. I saw something that was wrong. I saw something that I didn't want to be, and it looks like I was like, why would you do that? And I didn't want to be that person. I didn't want to be that person that's out there on the street doing this or doing that. I was like, no, I have a goal, I have a dream, and I have a vision that's inside of me that I want to achieve. I want to go to college. I want to achieve these goals right here. Don't stop me from achieving my goals.
What was your life-changing moment?
Life-changing moment?
Like, what was the thing that actually happened that made you change your life, yourself?
Myself.
Any series of or?
Bunch of series. I'll say it was a series of things that happened that, with my mother having a drug addiction, and we were raised in that, that environment of people coming in and people coming out, going out. And I just said, I won't have this for my family. I won't be this for my family. I'm gonna be there with my family. And I was just like, this has to stop. I don't want to be this guy. I don't want to be this man. I don't want to grow up being this way. And fighting all the gangs and the, hey, you want to be in this gang? No, I don't want to be in that gang. So you got beat up. You got beat up because they found something that was good in you, and they wanted to be that, but they didn't know how to be that. And so I got beat up for that because I didn't want to hang with you guys. I don't want to do that. That's not what I want to do. I don't want to go out there and rob people. I don't want to go out there and steal and do all this stuff.
Wind up in jail.
No, I don't want to be in jail. Who wants to be in jail? I don't want to go to jail.
You might get away from the cops 2 or 3 times, but sooner or later.
And I guess over the series of events and growing up, I just let me make it to high school and I'm good. My life growing up, I was just like, I don't want to do this.
Now, do you guys ever reach out to leaders in the community and ask them to come speak to your group?
We have a few. So I got a few lined up for 2014 that I want to try to bring in. So just kind of seeing how the schedule works out and everything, and see if we can try and bring them in and see if they can share.
You ever work with other groups like LULAC or NAACP or any of those types?
No, we work mainly with churches. I know my church specifically, and I know CYD Enterprises. Sugar Ray, he's a youth speaker. G3.com, Mohandas Jones. So there's a few that we've been connecting with and just kind of develop a relationship.
We could say a lot of things about something. One of these groups I do know about is Nation of Islam. Me and the old lady used to hang, anyway, that's years ago, but I know they too were, you can say a lot of things about them, but they get kids off the streets, off drugs, They seem to have some success at this. Have you ever spoke with them?
Oh, I haven't. I would like to.
I know several of them. We
Open.
can. They've been on the show before.
Okay, okay.
It's been a few years now, but yeah, they're you know, a lot of people say a lot of things about them and Mr. Farrakhan and all that, but they get kids off drugs, and they dress them nice and they actually seem to be doing some good things.
That's good. That's good.
I might remember you next time I see some.
Yeah, yeah.
So what do you consider, or what do you think the success rate that you've had in the short time that you've been with or having this group? Have you seen any success stories or?
A lot of success stories.
Right.
One of the things that really keeps me going is to see my team grow. As far as them growing and walking in their purpose, I love to see them just awesome, just have confidence in themselves. And I know that they're looking. I said, well, they're looking at me, and as the leader, they're like, I know I could do something, you know. And another thing was, one of the guys came in there, and he said, after the workshop, he said, I have 5 kids, and I want to take responsibility for all 5 of them. Like that is it. Like that is it.
Right.
All 5 of them. So apparently he wasn't with all of them. He was having probably some baby mother issues, you know, a lot of different things. But he said, I want to take responsibility. He changed his mind on how he thought about it. He changed his perspective on that, on like, look, I know I have kids. I want to be there. I want to take responsibility for them. So now he's showing his maturity now. Maturity is acceptance of responsibility. So now I'm in a place where now I'm accepting. I changed my mind, and now I am there. My mind is there. I'm mentally there.
So what does the man in me do after? So you have people that change their mindset.
Yeah.
What does the man in me do to those individuals once they've already made that change where they decided that they want to be a part of their child's life?
Okay. Usually I keep tabs on them and kind of just, you know, check in with them. And, you know, as long as they keep, you know, some of them, if they want to join the church or whatever organization, we're always here. We're always here to help. And trying to check that progress.
Right.
Sorry, hey, you said you're going to do this. I'm going to hold you to your word. This is what you said. This is what you told me you're going to do this month. Did you do it?
Right.
And so we're a group of, we're holding each and everyone accountable. Each and everybody's accountable for one another. Iron sharpens iron. We're all in this together.
Right. So essentially right now, I guess the people in the group right now are at that phase where they've come to recognize that yes, they need to, from being the player, I guess, or being the person that's donating from one woman to another, if you will. We call, there's been some comments about my ex-wife that you know they call her the egg donor. You know, so you know, as they do that, and then they do whatever stuff that they do afterwards, they come to the realization now. I guess what the man in me is trying to do is getting them to turn around to be able to say, okay, I've done this. Now I need to take care of whatever repercussions that occurred as a result of a night or a day or a moment of whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That works. I mean, I'm assuming that's kind of where everybody's at right now, where you have the individuals that want to make that change now. And is there any plans to help them move from acknowledging that they need to do something to being able to help them get to that point where they're able to say, "Hi, I'm your dad"?
Wow. Yeah.
So I'm assuming, I'd imagine that, it probably takes a while for that to
It
occur.
takes a little while to do that, you know.
And
It's a
I would
process.
imagine that at that point, once that transition comes from being able to say I'm ready to being able to say, "Hi, I'm your dad."
Yeah.
I imagine that road right there is very bumpy, and it takes a lot of self-worth, self-determination to get that portion there. So, and I'm assuming that at this point right now with the Man in Me, that your goal is to just encourage them to be able to take the necessary steps to help them get to that phase. So, because I'd imagine that there's a lot of different steps that have to be taken.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to either looking at being able to be a mediator between the family, between the mother and the father, being a mediator with whomever, up to and including the legal system, to be able to say, hey, by the way, I want to be able to see my kid. So I imagine that there's a lot of that, you know, or that road is very rough.
Yeah,
So-
it's very rough, and for that, it's a process because you got men who haven't really had a relationship over like 20 years.
Oh, wow.
You know, with their son or daughter,
Their
and
kids are full grown.
yeah, they're grown, and they don't have to. You know, they don't have to, but they you know, they get to a point where hey, I
Never
do
too
wanna
late to
meet
get
you.
involved.
Yeah, it's never too late. Never too late. It's never too late. I don't care if I know there's 40-year-old men, 40-something-year-old men who still would like to meet their father. You know, there's something there. I say there's something missing.
Well,
They don't-
I'd like to go back to the field trip thing. You say you don't have any, but after what Gabe was saying, it sounds like maybe we should have some for.
Yeah, we got a couple of things lined up for this 2014. Kind of redoing everything for this 2014, and having more of a boys' night out. We're gonna do like some boys' night out, have some game nights and certain things like that that we want to be able to do. There's a couple of different things we're trying to work on, trying to do. Just that everything is funding. You know, everything
Yeah.
primarily comes out of
That would be my
pocket.
second thing I want to talk with you
So
about here. Is,
everything comes
funding.
out.
How do you
I
get
mean, scholarships, offering some kind of scholarship, but that was again funding. Yeah, a nice big van. You could take dads and their kids and go to the baseball game in Round Rock or something. Would be a nice field trip. And to offer some kind of scholarships, a group like yours need to be able to offer some kind of scholarship. I would think it would maybe encourage some, but where would you get resources to do that kind of thing with? I got no idea.
So the Man in Me is a nonprofit organization. Excellent.
Yeah. So we're working on our, we just sent out the paperwork for our 501c3 tax exempt status. So we're waiting for that to get back, and so we'll be able to, you can write off on your taxes and stuff like that. So we'll be able to apply for grants and certain things like that come in, government grants or private grants.
How many successful stories have you had? And what I mean by that part, I mean people that started coming in from the very beginning to where they're being able to say, "Hi, I'm your dad." Have you had anybody? I mean, because granted, it's a year. It's been a year.
Yeah.
But from my personal story, it took, and my daughter's probably watching right now, and she knows the story full well. It took my my ex-wife. It took her probably 4 or 5 years for her to even make a phone call after she left her, and then it took her an additional 4 years for her to find her on Facebook
Right.
and be able to make some type of contact. So it's kind of one of those things where you know, I understand that whole process. You know, you have those back and forths.
Yeah.
But have you had anybody that has been able to reach that final point where they say, "Hey, by the way, hi, you know, pleased to meet you."
Yeah. We haven't had that. We haven't had that. And usually men who would come, you only get a few of them. Not everybody will tell about their situation. They won't say anything. They're just kind of there. And we're looking at men who have marriages, they have kids, they're doing well, but they don't know how to really do that. You want to be able to sharpen those tools and be able to do that. Because it's like, well, are you communicating effectively? You know, how's your relationship with the kids, each and every one? You know, how can I become personally, in my personal development, to become the best man I can be, so I can be able to now pass it to my wife and the kids. You know, so you're looking at the men who don't have a relationship with their kids to ones who do, but sometimes there's stuff I don't know how to deal with this teenager.
Right.
You know, I'm about to just throw them across the wall. You know.
Yeah, sometimes you want to choke on that.
Yeah, you know.
Sometimes you have to, but I'm just saying.
You know.
I was always glad I didn't have any daughters.
You know.
Oh my goodness.
I
Gray hair.
Yeah, I'd been in jail 'cause I'd have shot some fool with the door. I know what you want.
You know, you're
You're
looking
just
at
do
raging.
cleaning. Gun cleaning.
Yeah,
That works. That actually works very well, but that's another story altogether.
yeah, but we did before we got 18 minutes left. But I know you did want to mention
Well,
something
we'll,
about
we'll talk about that in just a
Yeah,
little bit.
well,
We want to continue
before
with
we
Mr.
go
Rowe.
off.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And this is kind of a Christmas show, Ma. Ma's mad because December was supposed to be
Well-
all fun shows, but family, Christmas, especially in holiday time like this, Christmas time has always been family to us, and I know it's the most stressful time on broken families or dysfunctional families, or how would you say it? Am I making any sense? Am I
Yeah.
articulating here?
Yeah, you looking at where some of the youth and I deal with some of the at-risk youth that going in and out of juvenile and they're thinking about doing this, committing suicide, a bunch of things like that. That when
Christmas is a time to-
Christmas time is like I want my family and what I pictured and I see the other kids have, and so I watch my brother how he looks at they get allowances and all of them sit at the table and they all eat. Well, in this family we don't do that. You know, we don't do that, and so he looks at it in his mind as this is the family that I want, and I want to put this together. And so you're looking at these kids who now it's Christmas time. It's supposed to be the time where you're with your family, you're with your friends. You want, and you're just like it's not complete. My family's not complete, and so you get to out of that. It's like all about presents, and sometimes they don't even want the presents. They just want their family, their grandpa, their grandma or whatever.
Aunts and uncles,
Yeah.
cousins.
Yeah, they just want that.
That's what
And
it's all about.
yeah, and it's not there.
Yeah, well, I had to bring that part up because that way I can link this show to Christmas time. So Ma won't get too upset with me because our next two shows are all music. But we'll go into that when it's announcement time.
So your next meeting will be in
February.
February. Okay, so if you want to let everybody know where it's going to be at, please. I mean, by all means, please let them.
Okay.
That way people can find out where where they can go and.
Okay. Well, you can find us at demandandme.org, and we have our meeting starting at February 21st at 7:30 at the Kleberg Hall. Address is 4301 North IH35, Austin, Texas 78722. It's off of Ardenwood Street, and that would be right off of Hancock, right where the Hancock Center, and 35, and where airport is. Yeah.
Heard of that place. Where have I heard that place from? I've been there for something. Over the years, I guess.
And for those people that want to get the address, it's themanandme.org,
Uh-huh.
where you can be able to find information about men talk and about women talk as well.
Yeah.
Or the Women in Me portion as well, which is actually a very strong thing to remember when it comes to dealing with the women and making sure that they become proper ladies.
Yeah.
I guess that's
Yeah.
the right part. And of course, on Facebook, they're on MIM, which is Man and Me Network. So go to, just do a search, type in the Man and Me. You'll be able to see the big letter. I'm just describing it off of Facebook, folks. You'll be able to see the capital letter M, and there's a gentleman standing right in the middle, to signify the Man and Me, or being the man in
I
Man and Me.
the letter M.
I had never thought so much about the woman's aspect of it because in
Oh, you'd
the
be
way I'm
surprised.
thinking, it's if the man leads, then the woman will. What's that old saying? That the girl always wants to marry a man just like her daddy.
Yes.
Well, that's back in the day when daddy
Well, it
was.
still is. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, coming from my personal standpoint, it still is. But the
When the
reality
daddy's a
situ-
crackhead boyfriend. And
well, then you have some issues. Then you have daddy issues on that one.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
but it comes to the point where as a parent, as a male authority figure, you have to set up a certain type of role model for them. I'm gonna say this one story that I think was kind of weird, that you have to where you have to correct the kids on what they say. I've shared my story. I've been divorced 3 times, married and divorced 3 times. Obviously I'm a fool for love, but I suck at marriage. Hey, if you count all the years that I've been married, I can rank up very high with those individuals. But anyway, I had a conversation with my daughter as we were going out to dinner, and she says, I forget the story how it worked out, what the comment that she made, but she made a comment about her talking to her kid when she gets divorced.
So she's planning on getting divorced.
Well, the thing is that she's seen that in me, because she's seen, me divorcing her mom,
Yeah.
and me divorcing her stepmom.
And all her friends are divorced.
Well, no, she has some friends that are married, that she goes to school with.
Friends' parents are still married.
Yeah, the parents, her kids, her friends' kids are still married. But it came to the point where you just have to correct them. You say, and you have to embed that whole idea that the marriage is a long-term union. It doesn't matter. You have people that are going to screw up. Yes. Hey, guess what? King of screw-ups right here. Okay.
No, that's my brother. He's got you beat by about 4. My brother, I think, has been married like 8 times.
Oh my goodness.
Dang. But the reality of the situation is that you still strive to show them that it's still possible to be in a single union with one another, whether you're married or not, or just living together, because sometimes marriages don't work out. But if you're living with that person and you guys are caring for each other, it is possible to maintain that type of relationship in this day and age. I came at the very end, or at the very beginning of where you have people where the transition came from the nuclear family, because my parents are still married. They've been married for 54 years. Ups and downs, they still love each other. But I came from that very end where that marriage of the man and the woman, it started to break, or at the beginning, I guess, if you will, when it started to break down, and then you're at that transition now.
Well, I guess mine is, my parents divorced when I was really young, but I go back there. I wasn't going to buy her boyfriend no damn drinks. That's probably why I never got divorced. But now the kids are, my youngest is like 23, so I guess I don't have to worry about that anymore, huh?
Yeah, you good?
Yeah, but hey, how about that? Is that why we stayed together so long? 38
yeah,
years a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, congratulations.
Just be warned, folks.
I didn't buy her no boyfriend no drinks. That's for sure.
Oh my goodness. Well, it's been fabulous talking to you, and I hope we get to. I still have to send you my resume. As I mentioned at the function, I'm hoping that I get to be able to talk to your group.
Sure.
Because of the input, the insight that I had from me being the single dad perspective. So, but I'm hoping that I can.
Sounds like they need lawyers to come talk to the group too.
Well, eventually they're going to need to. Eventually they will. That's going to be
Yeah.
the phase. But right now, I think I think with the way the Man in Me is set up right now, it's more along the lines of saying, look, we're going to provide you encouragement to step up and become a man, and be able to say, I have a responsibility that I have to take care of, and I need to fix this. Because as Mr. Rose said, that portion, once you acknowledge it, it becomes really difficult. Okay, and I've seen it from friends of mine where they have the woman saying, hey, by the way, you owe me this, and God knows what else and everything else. And it's like, no. I do owe it to you, but no, that's going to stop.
just natural for women to say
Well,
that.
no, it's natural for a lot of people. I know some single guys, and they went through that same thing also. Where they told them, hey, you owe me.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it works both ways. People, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, and they're going to say it.
I
regardless
guess I
of-
sure missed a lot out there, huh?
Yes, you did. Apparently, but
Well,
luckily,
with 9 minutes left. I don't know how we can close out with him, but I want to make sure you get time to say anything. But I did also want to talk to you. You wanted to speak some good things about Mike here and his operation going on out there. I know you've been giving a lot of good classes to a lot of people.
oh, beware for the brick.
Go for it.
No, well, I want to thank Mr. Isaac Grove for being here with us as we bring attention to the fact that
Did you
there's
like to
men out there
tie it
or
into
people out
Christmas?
there that need to be responsible and take care of what their of the seeds that they sowed. It's very important that they do that. And I appreciate you being able to step up and taking the courage to do that. It's just phenomenal stuff.
Yeah, that is wonderful. Sounds
We
great.
need more of it.
Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely. And
definitely.
anywhere we can try to help out.
sure.
I'm happy to.
Yeah, we'll have to have you on again. We'll stay in touch.
Sure.
Definitely so. But I do want to give props to Michael Cargill from Central Texas Gunworks. I'm not trying to promote anything, but I do want to share a story with Michael and his team. I finally had the opportunity to go ahead and take my daughter to learn how to shoot. You know, I've been a pro Second Amendment person through and through. Through one situation or another, we weren't able to take the opportunity to it because, you know, significant others didn't like guns, which is fine. You know, you respect that. But when I had my daughter move with me a year ago, you know, we talked about owning weapons and we talked about gun ownership, and she asked me about, you know, wanting to learn how to shoot. So we finally took advantage of the situation, and we got to spend some time with Michael and his team on Sunday, where she learned how to she finally learned how to handle a gun. She was able to play. I don't want to say play, but she learned how to operate. Exercise. She learned how to operate a 22 and a 9mm handgun. Both phenomenal weapons. You know, just powerful enough where even a 22. I learned from a 22 shotgun. Okay, where the noise that it made was, that was it. You shot and it just like wind. And that was it. There was nothing there. You shoot a 22 now, man, that's loud. I don't know which is louder, the 9 or the 22. But anyway, she did phenomenal stuff. I mean, I took the pictures of, Xavier, who taught the class. Phenomenal stuff. I mean, he's straight and to the point and being able to say, this is how it is. And you can tell how well she learned from him when they were practicing. And I keep on saying playing, but they were practicing and they were working on the practice guns. And I watched her when she was eyeing the target, you know, and he explained to everybody how to eye it, you know, being able to line your sights. And when she pulled the trigger, you see the light that goes onto the target. Dead on target. And I'm like, that's phenomenal. That's pretty cool. And then she went on and used, you know, she went onto the range and practiced with the 22. Great shot. I mean, she learned so well from Xavier, and I got to give him props for the stuff that he did. And I mean, it's just phenomenal as to how that worked out. I could not have taught her any better myself, and I told her I refused to teach her because I wanted to have someone who had more experience than I did, who can handle a weapon better than me. To show her how to do it properly.
And my coworker gives you kudos for your concealed class. It woke him up. He said it was very informative and he really enjoyed taking the class with you. So I'm sending more.
Might be a good place for a field trip.
Yeah.
Oh,
That would be nice. That would be nice. That would be nice. We might want to do that.
That's part of our politics here. Is we all seem to be relatively pro Second Amendment.
well, we believe in the rights of practicing the laws that are out there. And
Like
one
I
of
said
those-
out there, armed females produce polite society.
Yeah.
So in some cases,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're not likely to really badmouth a woman knowing that she might just go into a PMS rage and pull
Oh
out.
God. Anyway, but she. But I
Like
will
going
say
off
this.
again.
I will say this. You know, she will now learn how. She now knows how to protect herself in the event something happens.
right?
So I mean, she knows how to defend herself in many different ways. But this is one added element to help her with being able to say that yes, I can protect myself, and I'm stronger because of that. And she is indeed stronger for what she learned. And I thank you for what you've done with Central Texas Gun Works, as well as Xavier with the stuff. It was just phenomenal stuff. I learned a few things.
I have some awesome instructors there. You know, a lot of experience. You know, they've been deployed overseas in the military, so they're very good at what they do. And we built that program up. We've changed stuff, you know, over the years. We've gotten it better and better. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, just phenomenal stuff, and especially and the T-shirts that they have there. I'll have to show you a picture of one of the T-shirts that I got my daughter. It's just very, very comical and very lively, and I loved it very, very much. Yes, it was the pink one. Yes, it was the. That's Mrs. Pokey there laughing about the T-shirt that we got. So, but yes, it was great stuff.
Lord of the trailer park.
Lord, that's oh boy, we've been doing this a while. I don't know
Lord of the
where
trailer park.
Gabriel Gavino is.
Well, he's probably busy.
Twice that he
he's
ain't
probably
made-
busy with LULAC and other stuff. And,
Yeah,
you
he's
know.
got plenty to do.
And then we thank Mr. Isaac Rowe for coming on. The Man in Me.
Boy.
www.themanandme.org.
Phenomenal
Yo.
stuff.
Y'all have plans to do any kind of education outreach or be involved in education? I've already asked you, you ain't got
2014.
resources for scholarship.
Yeah. With all
What
that,
else could you do without?
I have a whole list of programs and certain things. I got a whole outline. It just costs.
Yeah.
There's just funding for that. So if it's coming out of my pocket, I can only do what I can and what the team are able to do. So we have to rent the venue and do all this and get the food. So that's in our budget. But to do those type of things, to be able to host that and the funding,
Resources.
resources.
Well, yeah, and that's always going to be a factor. But for you to do that out of your own pocket, I mean that speaks volumes and your intent to want to be able to help these individuals, and you will find out later on whether you haven't now, but those individuals that do succeed, they'll come back. They'll come back. I can guarantee you that part. I've done that with several groups or several individuals where
Hopefully they'll come back successful so they can donate.
well, I mean, they'll be able to help out in kind and be able to do something to try to help out the next person, because that's going to be the big goal. I mean, Mr. Rose, one person, and he's going to be able to only do so much, and his team are only going to be able to do so much. But when you have those other individuals that succeed and are able to do that, then they're able to give back and be able to say, hey, where can I help?
Well, it sounds like this kind of program would be real good to have you speak actually in a school
Yeah.
to young men and women.
Yeah, that would be nice. I know we're working on some things with some teachers that we know, and as far as with another middle school
That
that's
is
in Round
good.
Rock. So
Middle school seems to be the place.
yeah,
It's at that point you go one way or the other.
yeah,
It's from what I'm understanding. I have to ask that because being involved with LULAC, they're heavily involved in education. And them and a few other friends and political groups I know of and politicians we're trying to develop not an education summit, but an education forum type thing so that people can understand what their options are when it comes to education. 30 seconds, 40 seconds. Anyway, we go off at 58:30. Go ahead. You want to say something real quick? You got 30 seconds.
Well, thank you guys for having me on the show. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for having me. I'm glad to be here, and hopefully I'll be here soon.
Okay, we will be back. We got Norteño music next week and more Christmas music week after that. Yeah, Happy will be here with one of his bands. So it'll all be
Tell him to be
good.
nice to me, because he was mad at me last time.
Oh, yeah. We'll work on that.
All right, Mike.
See
thank
you
very much.
next
Thank everybody.
Monday.
You guys take care.
Woohoo!
Bye-bye. There we go.